Hello everyone and welcome. I am Malika Pathak and today I will be talking about project management. To define project management, one must define a project. Anything that has a start, a finish and produces a deliverable is a project. Project management therefore is the method by which a project is planned, monitored, controlled and reported on, in other words, managed. Project management is an umbrella term that covers many related disciplines such as planning, scheduling, task management, resource management, risk management, and much more. The person who is responsible for overseeing a project is the project manager. They develop a plan that meets the stakeholders' expectations and assembles a project team. The project manager then monitors and controls the execution of the project until a quality deliverable is produced. This is often done with the aid of project management software. In this video, we will be looking upon in detail what is a project, project manager, project management, core competencies of project management, why and when do we need project management, who uses project management tools and softwares, project management roles, project management methodologies, project life cycle, project kickoff meeting and checklist, communication in project management. Last but not the least, we will be summarizing everything that we discussed in this video. So without delaying any further, let's jump in. Now let's first talk about what is a project. A project is a unique translucent endeavor undertaken to achieve planned objectives which could be defined in terms of outputs, outcomes or benefits. A project is usually deemed to be a success if it achieves the objectives according to their acceptance criteria within an agreed time scale and budget. Time, cost and quality are the building blocks of every project. Time scheduling is a collection of techniques used to develop and present schedules that show when work will be performed. Cost, how are necessary funds acquired and finances managed. Quality, how will fitness, purpose of the deliverables and management processes be assured. A project is temporary and a project is unique. For example, the development of software for an improved business process, the construction of a building or bridge, the relief effort after a natural disaster, the expansion of sales into a new geographic market, and so on. And all must be expertly managed to deliver the on-time, on-budget results, learning and integration that organizations need. Project managers are change agents. They make project goals their own and use their skills and expertise to inspire a sense of shared purpose within the project team. They enjoy the organized adrenaline of new challenges and the responsibility of driving business results. They work well under pressure and are comfortable with change and complexity in dynamic environments. They can shift readily between the big picture and the small but crucial details, knowing when to concentrate on each. Project managers cultivate the people skills needed to develop trust and communication among all of the project's stakeholders. Its sponsors, those who will make use of the project results, those who command the resources needed, and the project team members. They have a broad and flexible toolkit of techniques, resolving complex interdependent activities into tasks and subtasks that are documented, monitored, and controlled. They adapt their approach to the context and constraints of each project, knowing that no one size can fit all the variety of projects. And they always are improving their own and their team skills through lessons learned, reviews at project completion. Project managers are found in every kind of organization as employees, managers, contractors, and independent consultants. With experience, they may become program managers responsible for multiple related projects or portfolio managers responsible for selection, prioritization, and alignement of projects and programs within organization strategy.
Project management is the application of processes, methods, skills, knowledge, and experience to achieve specific project objectives according to the project acceptance criteria within agreed parameters. Project management has final deliverables that are constrained to a finite timescale and budget. A key factor that distinguishes project management from just management is that it has this final deliverable and a finite time span, unlike management, which is an ongoing process. Because of this, a project professional needs a wide range of skills, often technical skills and certainly people management skills and good business awareness. Core competencies of project management. There are multiple points that are to be considered under project management: defining the reason why a project is necessary, capturing project requirements, specifying the quality of the deliverables, estimating resources and timescales, preparing a business case to justify the investment, securing corporate agreement and funding, developing and implementing a management plan for the project, leading and motivating the project delivery team, managing the risks, issues and changes on the project, monitoring progress against plan, managing the project budget, maintaining communications with the stakeholders and the project organization, provider management, closing the project in a controlled fashion when appropriate. Now, why do we need project management? Project management is aimed at producing an end product that will affect some change for the benefit of the organization that instigated the project. It is the initiation, planning, and control of a range of tasks required to deliver this end product. Projects that require formal management are those that produce something new or altered, tangible or intangible, have a finite time span, a definite start and end, are likely to be complex in terms of work or groups involved, require the management of change, and require the management of risks. Investment in effective project management will have several benefits, such as providing a greater likelihood of achieving the desired result, ensuring the efficient and best value use of resources, satisfying the differing needs of the project stakeholders. When do we use project management? Projects are separate from business as usual activities and occur when an organization wants to deliver a solution to set requirements within an agreed budget and time frame. Projects require a team of people to come together temporarily to focus on specific project objectives. As a result, effective teamwork is central to successful projects. Project management is concerned with managing discrete packages of work to achieve specific objectives. The way the work is managed depends upon a wide variety of factors. The scale, significance, and complexity of the work are obvious factors. Relocating a small office and organizing the Olympics share many basic principles, but offer very different managerial challenges. Objectives may be expressed in terms of A. Internal to the business, that is outputs, such as a new headquarter building. Outcomes, such as staff being relocated from multiple locations to the new headquarters. Benefits, such as reduced travel and facilities management costs. Strategic objectives, such as doubling the organization's share price in 3 years. And some objectives are expressed as external to the business, that is requirements received from the client, which can be termed as short-term requirements, long-term requirements, fixed requirements, and indefinite requirements. Now, who uses project management? Anyone and everyone manage projects, even if they aren't formally called a project manager. Ever organize an event? That's a project you managed with a team of people, and project management is a life skill for all. More formally, projects crop up in all industries and businesses, such as transport and infrastructure, IT, product manufacture, building and construction, finance, and law. Now, there are some project management tools, softwares, and some must-have features in those softwares that a project manager must look for. There are many tools available to manage a project, and most of them are both mobile and desktop workable. These tools help in managing several aspects of a project or multiple projects, such as timeline or Gantt chart, task lists, team members, task updates, dashboards, project calendar, team chart. Some of the tools that are popular and are being used by many companies, small or big, are Jira, Trello, Asana, Podio, Scoro, WorkZone, ProofHub, Notion, Basecamp, ActiveCollab, Redmine, Zoho Projects, Microsoft Projects, other PM tools that can be looked over if you click on this link. There are certain features that a project manager must look in a tool that they want to use in a project, such as Gantt chart, task list, team collaboration feature, dashboard, project calendar, resource management feature, workload feature, and timesheet. Project management roles. Projects aren't just tools and phases. Projects are made possible by people. Those people have specific jobs to do. A project works best when those roles are well defined. While there are methods of project management that allow for more fluidity, these are the main roles on a project: project sponsors, project manager, supplier or third party consultant, project team or team members, and stakeholders. And above all is the client.
Project management methodologies. To save you from reinventing the wheel, over the years people have come up with some tried and tested ways of getting project work done. Here are some common approaches to project management. Waterfall. The waterfall model is a linear approach to delivering work. You come up with the requirements, put the design together, build the solution, test, implement it, and then move it into maintenance stage. Agile. Agile is often used in software projects, but it's becoming more common on other type of projects as well. Like marketing, it involves iterative working in short bursts called sprints. The work is time boxed and the team gets as much done as they realistically can before moving to the next set of requirements. Lean. Lean has come to mean a couple of things recently since the advent of the lean startup movement, which favors an iterative approach to product development and involves bringing in end users early and often for feedback on the project's delivery. Traditionally, in project management, lean project management is a way of eliminating waste in processes and making sure that the people involved work effectively and together. It streamlines the handoffs between teams, eliminating downtime. A common feature of lean working is to only work on one project at a time.
Project management processes. The roles in project management are the people who man the processes. While we have touched on this topic earlier, it deserves closer attention. Processes underpin the life cycle and help you move the work through the life cycle until the objective is completed. Risk management. The risk management process helps you identify what might happen to throw your project off track and then define a response so you've got contingency plans in place. This is usually done on larger projects rather than smaller. Although even for small teams, a short sync up with the team to help identify potential problems in the plan would be useful to guard against the unexpected and have plans of action in case it does. Issue management. An issue is a problem that has happened, different to risk because that hasn't happened yet. Issue management is how you deal with problems when they turn up on your project and it's worth working out what is going to look like for you because something is bound to go wrong. The process will cover who needs to be notified, how you make decisions about what to do next, and who has authority to take action. Change management. Every project has change requests. Sometimes that's because the objective wasn't defined particularly well at the outset, or because the business strategy has changed and the project needs to be updated accordingly. The change process helps you incorporate these into your project plan with the least hassle possible. Procurement management. Many projects involve working with suppliers, and there is normally a process around how you engage and contract with them so that everyone knows what to expect and what you are getting for your money. Communications. Yes, communication is a process. You have to identify who needs to get which message, when, and which method of communication is most appropriate. A communication plan will help you do this. Project life cycle. A project life cycle is a sequence of phases that a project goes through from its initiation to its closure. The number and sequence of the cycle are determined by the management and various other factors like needs of the organization involved in the project, the nature of the project, and its area of application. The phases have a definite start, end, and control point and are constrained by time. The project life cycle can be defined and modified as per the needs and aspects of the organization. Even though every project has a definite start and end, particular objectives, deliverables, and activities vary widely. The life cycle provides the basic foundation of the actions that have to be performed in the project irrespective of the specific work involved. Project life cycles can range from predictive or plan-driven approaches to adaptive or change-driven approaches. In a predictive life cycle, the specifics are defined at the start of the project and any alterations to scope are carefully addressed. In an adaptive life cycle, the product is developed over multiple iterations and detailed scope is defined for iteration only as the iteration begins. Although projects are unique and highly unpredictable, their standard framework consists of same generic lifecycle structure consisting of following phases. A. Initiation phase. It consists of feasibility study, project charter, and stakeholders. B. Planning phase. It consists of project management plan, resource allocation plan, project management tool, and scheduling meetings. Execution phase. It involves solution plan that might be fundamental requirements, solution design, technical design, test plans, data migration plan, and setup environment. Build, sprint planning, configure and develop, unit testing and solution checkpoints, and change management, that is any change request during the execution phase. Fourth phase is monitoring and controlling phase. In this, project resource management, in case any resource has low availability or it varies a lot. Project performance, that is project management tools, timesheet, task requirement sheet can help in tracking project performance. Daily Scrum meeting, which can be managed through sprint management sheets, Daily Scrum meeting, which can be managed through sprint management sheet, minutes of meetings, and task list and status update on the official group and email. Test plan, which can be done either for integration or VF page or communities users or any other requirement, and change requirement in case there is any change request during the testing phase. The last is closure phase, in which deploy and support plan is created, transitioning from the consultant to client production org, and support is provided for any development work done by the consultant. The next topic that we're going to talk about is project kickoff and goals. Running a successful kickoff meeting is important because this will help set up the approach for a project or a product development. The successful execution of any project always begins with an excellent project kickoff meeting. This is not to say that kickoff meetings are an absolute determinant for the success of every project, but it certainly does go a long way in anticipating and preparing for any hurdles that could come up along the way. As a project manager, it is important to ensure that you are well prepared for it because it will set the tempo or approach for how the rest of the project would go. In the kickoff meeting, discussion normally happens on introductions, project objectives and vision, assumptions, constraints or risk assessment, deliverables, challenges, methodologies, procedures, plans, working environment, and roles of each stakeholder. It is important to cover the above topics just to make sure everyone are on the same page. These topics later help in defining the project plan on a granular level with a clearly defined role of each member in the project team. Now, under kickoff meeting, it has certain goals and elements. Now, goals and elements of a kickoff meeting, they set the tempo of the project. They help in determining how motivated and committed members of the project will be to the successful execution of the project. They help anticipate future hurdles. This is where members of the team fully understand their individual roles in the project. It ensures that there are no miscommunications amongst parties and all ambiguity is eliminated. Now, what are project kickoff elements? First, there's internal project meeting, which is to be happened between the team members internally. Set the agenda, commence the meeting, project analysis and vision, which is to be discussed with the client and the consultant, project standard establishment. Now, it is important to set these standards as to what actually constitutes a finished task. This section could also include policies and procedures for information protection as well.
Communication standard establishment.
Question and answers. Last but not the least is meeting summary, where all the points are to be summarized between the consultant and the client, and this is to be done by a project manager. Project kickoff checklist. Project kickoff checklist will help in ensuring all the major points have been finalized to proceed further in the project. These points are mainly divided into three major areas. A. Project. In this, appoint a project manager, approval for the project plan, identify the project objectives, define project scope, approval for the budget or cost of project, identify initial project risks, produce a detailed list of deliverables. Second aspect is team. Here the first point is appoint team members, identify key stakeholders, identify third-party consultants if any, defines roles and responsibilities, produce communication plans, and internal meetings. The third aspect here is tools. Now, in this, the first point is project management softwares or tools, project filing system, create task lists, project meeting schedules, and timeline management. All these aspects are important to make sure that project goes smoothly and as per the approach that was set initially to meet the pre-decided deadlines. Now, how to run an effective kickoff meeting? The first and foremost is to have an internal kickoff meeting which must discuss the roles and responsibilities of all the members, discuss the client's background, end user's vision and project goals. Follow an agenda similar to an actual meeting. The second point here would be external kickoff meeting with the client. And here the first point is to be discussed is introduction between both the parties. Discuss in detail project vision, objectives, requirements or purpose to be fulfilled by the product or service. Discuss the approach to be followed for the initial, middle and end stage of the project. Setting up communication processes, that is tools, schedules and timings. Sharing experience via case studies or blogs done in the past. All the parties must ask questions to each other. And last but not the least is clearly defining the next steps for all the parties and sharing the meeting logs with the parties. It is the project manager's responsibility to make sure all these points or all these aspects are discussed in the meeting with the client to make sure that the consultant understands the vision of the client and client understands the approach that the consultant is going to take to go forward with the project. The next that we're going to talk about is communication in project management. Now the PMI, a Project Management Institute, suggests a project manager should spend 90% of their time communicating. The word communication comes from the Latin word communis, which means common. When we communicate, we are trying to establish commonness with someone. That is, we are trying to share information, an idea or an attitude among the team involved in that particular project. One can never take for granted that the receiver will interpret the message the same way as the sender intended it. Communication is not an absolute finite thing. To do this effectively, the project manager needs to consider all the factors like the different realities, the space the communication takes place in, verbal as well as non-verbal messages and the intended meaning versus the perceived meaning and so on. As a part of their day-to-day jobs, project managers perform a variety of roles and responsibilities, and at its core, however, the job is about coordinating the efforts of everyone involved in a project so that shared goals can be achieved. This requires that a project manager is skilled in gathering information and in sharing it with the right people on their team. Communication is the most important aspect in project management because what project managers do a majority of the time is to communicate to coordinate efforts, says Sermon Kennedy, Assistant Teaching Professor in Northeastern's Master of Science in Project Management program. To coordinate efforts, they have to gather a lot of information and disseminate it across all teams involved with the project. Without this communication, it's possible that efforts might be duplicated by multiple people or teams involved in the project. That important goal and milestone might be missed, that resources become mislocated, or that the project scope begins to creep outside of the realm of what was originally intended. The end result is that projects can screech to a halt or worse, fail altogether. Communication is one of the most essential ingredients in successful project management and skills that a project manager has to have, Kendit says. A project team is generally quite a diverse group of people. Project teams are usually thrust together to deliver a bespoke and unique benefit to an organization, something new and different to the day-to-day activities undertaken. This diversity provides a further communication challenge for the project manager. Now, successful project management communication is about being there for everyone, being in touch with the real challenges of the project, understanding the real issues within the team who must deliver the project, as well as understanding the issues of the sponsors who the team delivers the project for. Being present, visible, and engaged with everyone is important during the good times and the challenging times. Communication is about understanding the complete message. What language to use, how to convey the message with respect to tone, feeling, and body language all play an important role in the communication process. If these are used incorrectly, the result is often a confusing message and misunderstanding of the real issues. So, a successful project manager can only maximize the effectiveness of communication within the team by being prepared to lead by example. A big part of leadership is to be present and be prepared to communicate with all stakeholders at their respective levels, and to consciously listen some more. Projects often fail because we simply fail to clearly articulate the vision and the project's success criteria. This vision must be successfully communicated to each stakeholder and team member. The whole team should be able to visualize the end result in order to work towards a common goal. Regular reporting of the project's progress and status is crucial to the success of the project. Communicating this to all stakeholders in a clear and precise manner is paramount so that all understand what the key messages are. Diagrams, charts, graphs, and tables should be maximized here. The well-known saying, "A picture is worth 1,000 words," is no less true than when communicating project progress or status. Types of communication. In project management, just like in all other business processes, there are multiple different types of communication. Often, these different styles can be understood to come from different perspectives, which we'll explore further. Number one is the project perspective. When communication is viewed from the perspective of the project itself, it is usually broken into two categories. Internal communication, which typically refers to the exchange of information that occurs between individuals who are actively working on a project, the project manager, and their team. And external communication, on the other hand, refers to the flow of information between the members of a project team and key stakeholders not directly a part of the project. This might involve members of the executive team, the CEO, the other departments or projects, the press, or internal and external customers. Because this communication is geared towards individuals who are not directly working on a project, it is often more formal and polished compared to internal communications. The second perspective is the organizational perspective. When communication is viewed from an organizational perspective, it is usually broken into three distinct categories which take into account the various ways in which an organization might be structured. Vertical communication takes place between individuals who operate on different hierarchical levels within an organization and is sometimes referred to as upward or downward communication. Horizontal communication takes place between individuals who operate on the same level within an organization. Diagonal communication is typically limited to businesses and institutions with more organizational complexity and refers to the communication that takes place between individuals within different functional divisions or departments within the organization. For example, a project manager tasked with overseeing the development of a mobile app might turn to a member of the software team to understand how they dealt with similar issues or challenges. The formality perspective. When communication is viewed through the lens of formality, it is generally split into informal and formal communications, which are rather straightforward in their definitions. Informal communication are often synonymous with internal communications outlined above. Here, daily emails, touch bases, and unplanned meetings form the bulk of this communication, which is generally raw and unpolished. Formal communications, on the other hand, are seen more as products to be consumed. Reports, press releases, and presentations to key stakeholders often fall into this bucket. The last perspective is the channel perspective. The channel perspective refers to the channel or medium by which communication is transmitted or delivered. Common communication channels include verbal versus non-verbal communication, in-person versus remote or virtual communication, and written versus oral communication. It's important to know that each of these communication channels offers its own benefits and disadvantages, which a project manager should be aware of and leverage accordingly. In-person communication, for example, enables the parties to observe body language and demeanor, which might influence the message being sent, but it is not always possible due to the increasing use of remote teams in corporate environments. Similarly, written communication allows the writer to tailor their message to communicate precisely what they want to share, but it might lack certain subtleties that could otherwise be obvious in verbal communication, such as sarcasm. It's up to the project manager to understand which channel best applies to their unique needs and to balance those needs accordingly against the potential drawbacks of each channel. Reasons for improving communication. According to Project Management Institute, a project manager should spend 90% of their time communicating. Communication is the pivotal skill of any project manager. All the other skills solely depend on their communication skills. However, one can never perfect the skill of communication and thus should keep working on improving it. The first is relay information. The actual work in the project is done by the team members. In order to start working on the project, it is necessary that they are informed about their roles and responsibilities for the particular project. As a project manager, it is your duty to make sure that all the members and the stakeholders are well informed about the vision statement of the project. Receiving information. Many times, the stakeholders want to know the progress of the project and which deliverables or milestones were last accomplished. The project manager is responsible for keeping the upper management and all the stakeholders informed about all the other information related to the project. That is plan, risks, objectives, time constraints, customer needs, and so on. The third is discussing problems. Projects and problems come as a combo pack. So if you're carrying out any project, do expect problems to arise, result in either delay in the project or will have an effect on the budget. In order to avoid this, the project manager is supposed to know all the problems that can arise or prepare a solution for that. If the problem arises after that too, you have one loophole, and that is communication. To solve the problem, you can take the help of the team members or from the upper management, or you can directly report it to the client, and then you two can sort it out some solution. Bridging the language gap. Here the language gap refers to the understanding. It is the duty of the project manager to discuss the company's strategic alignment and the project scope with the members. Then only they can understand their duties and role in completing the project. Change in situation. To encounter the problems that will come during the project execution, the project manager should prepare a communication plan in the planning stage of the project. It should be specified in the communication plan that what type of communication would be used or is required for meetings, frequency of the communication would be done with whom, and so on. According to statistics, 57% of employees report not being given clear directions, and 69% of managers are not comfortable communicating with the employees in general. This makes it clear that there is a need for improvement in workplace communication. And here is a list of strategies that can be practiced at the workplace to improve communication skills. The first is having more meetings. Eliminating meeting for a speedy communication is a serious problem, as discussing serious topics on these tools or over a phone call doesn't clearly transmit what the person wants to say. According to a psychological researcher, Albert Mehrabian, just 7% of meaning is derived from the actual words that we are saying. The remaining 55% comes from our body language, and 38% is our tone of voice. Humans need face-to-face communication to express themselves or their ideas properly. Moreover, this acts as an opportunity for the manager to interact with the members and for the members to express themselves. The second strategy could be one-on-one communication. Everyone is different, and so is their catch-up speed. Communication is not a one-size-fits-all tool. Range your communication strategy from person to person. One-on-one communication is useful when you have some sensitive information to share or have something personal to talk about. It is useful as while communicating you can focus on the person's eyes and body language and respond when the person is not verbally communicating to you. while you are discussing something uncomfortable. Requesting for feedback. The team generally has respect for the team leader or the manager. Now, it can be out of respect or out of fear. Sometimes members are not able to say what they want to say or how they feel to the leader. You are working with skilled members, thus, you should not just order them and get the work done, but you should communicate and get the work done. Therefore, in situations where the members are not able to communicate directly to you, feedback or anonymous feedback can work as a medium to do so. The next is keep a schedule. Your meetings or phone calls to a time that suits all. Respect others' time and then they will respect yours. Moreover, everyone can make to a timely and scheduled meeting and they would be more attentive and would listen to you, as listening is the first step to effective communication. Otherwise, they would be physically at the meeting and mentally they would be either cursing you or would be thinking of the work that they left off unfinished to come to your unscheduled meeting. Present information visually. People can remember more than 2000 pictures with at least 90% of accuracy in the recognition tests over a period of several days, even with short presentation times during learning. Therefore, it is clear that our picture memory is far better than our ability to remember words. We all say A for apple as we picture a red apple when we hear A. This is why we are able to remember this our entire life. Verbal or oral communication is good when we are talking about any similar or known topic. But when there is something complex like the data regarding the change of profit in the organization from the last 10 years, a graph or diagram is the best way to explain and understand the same, as in the absence of graph, even the one who is explaining would not be able to do it clearly. The next is use the right tool. To make the process of project management more clear, you can use a task management software or a project management software which has a communication feature too. Using this will make it easier for you to assign tasks and manage your product or project. Thus, you can assign the tasks to team members and then you can talk with the member or you can take follow-up on a single screen.
Active listening is arguably the biggest factor affecting communication. Our body language can demonstrate clearly whether we are actively listening. Eye-to-eye contact is imperative to active listening. It shows you are genuinely interested and engaged when someone is talking to you. Effective communication results in all involved in the project understanding what is being communicated. This comes from spending time with the project team, being fully engaged and prepared to listen and understand the feelings which may be the key driver of the communication process. Project managers really need to have many qualities, good communication skills being one of them, to drive the project to become successful. This was all about the basics of project management. Thank you for watching this video.